really happy you're all here. Um, it's been so long since I've actually done a live stream, but I wanted to do this because I'm not in the mood to edit a video, and I wanted to just do this. I'll probably make another version of this edited just because it looks better, but I kind of just thought it'd be fun before I go to bed tonight. Just been kind of busy lately. I'm in my musical, so I haven't had a lot of time. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm gonna start this video, which I'm going to be ranking the Harry Potter books from worst to best, and I'm gonna explain why that is. So, without further ado, let's get into today's video because I'm very excited. So yeah. Alright, so the first book I have is Sorcerer's Stone. I'm good, how are you? Anyways, sorry, it's so hard to comment, but continue what I'm saying. So, the first book I have is Sorcerer's Stone. And the reason this is in my least favorite category, or least favorite book, is just due to the fact that it's a great enjoyable read the first time that you're reading it, but it's once I continue on reading the series and I finish the series and I go back and read it, I dread reading this book above all others just because it's so boring, because I know what happens later on in the series and the world building is just not as good. There's not as much here as I know there's going to be later on. It's not as exciting, not as much adventure and action, so it's just a bit down there. It's nothing to do with the plot, it's just I love me Harry already knows that he's a wizard. I'm just excited to get back into the wizarding world. I don't like having to discover it all over again because I already know what it is. So for me, this book is kind of down there, if that makes sense. So yeah. Next on my list, I have Chamber of Secrets, which I'm sure you're just going to know in order. No, I promise, I'm not going in order. Chamber of Secrets just is sort of like the Sorcerer's Stone. There isn't a whole lot of more new things in this book, and so it's kind of just lower on my list. I love Chamber of Secrets, and I feel like it's highly underrated. It's a lot of people's least favorite, but compared to the other Harry Potter books and things, even the movies, I feel like it's underrated. People hate on it for no reason, but at the same time, I truly feel like I just can't put it above the others. I have no problem with it. So yeah. I'm a little confused. What do you mean, the ones about the kids? So anyways, so I'm kind of been so busy, I can't even concentrate on what I'm doing. So I find this book very, very underrated, like I was saying, and all that. But compared to the others, it's just not as good. There are a lot of good things about it, but so sorry, I'm so sorry. So I definitely think this one's good, but not as interesting as the others. Although there are some funny Lockhart moments, so that's always good. Also, I'm pretty sure Cursed Child is not actually happening. Those are just rumors. They are doing the Harry Potter remake, the reboot of these 7 adaptations of the books, which is kind of why I'm also doing this, because it's kind of getting me excited for the upcoming remake. So, because a lot of people are actually very mad about it, but for me, it's I think it's good because they left so many things out, and I think it has a lot of potential. Anyway, better make sure my phone stays charged in because it keeps getting out of the charger. Alright, so the next book I have on my list is actually gonna be very surprising for a lot of people. A lot of people, this is like their favorite book of all like the Harry Potter books, or probably all time if they're huge Harry Potter fans. But for me, this book is just overhyped. I feel like this book is truly overhyped and just like is not as good as people say it is. So the book I'm talking about is the Deathly Hallows. This book is a lot lower on my list than most people. As I was saying, like most people, it's the top book. For me, it's in 5th place, and there's nothing wrong with it. Well, there kind of is. But for me, sorry. The reason I don't like this book as much is it doesn't feel like Harry Potter. Like the other ones are Harry Potter. They go to Hogwarts and they find out some ridiculous things along the way. But for me, this doesn't feel like Harry Potter. They're hardly at Hogwarts until like the very end of the book. And for me, it just doesn't give me the same vibe as the others. And also, like, it's just a lot more depressing. Ron infuriates me. And so, like, I don't like how he treats Harry in Deathly Hallows. I feel like it's so out of character. And this book it's great, but there are a few things I just don't like about it. As well as the epilogue, I feel like it's very questionable. It's just not my type of book. The other books are just better. They have more of that Hogwartsy feel you get when you're reading Harry Potter. Of course, there's a few moments I absolutely love. I love Ron and Hermione's kiss, although at times it does feel like it kind of just comes out of nowhere. Another thing that bothers me is like, sorry, I'm trying to think because like my brain is just like totally spacing out. Like, I do love like that scene on Harry's birthday where like Ginny takes him into his room and like says, "Here's something to remember me by," and then kisses Harry because that's just so meaningful. So alright. So that's how I feel about Deathly Hallows. Next book on my list is Half-Blood Prince. Now, for me, Deathly Hallows. Sorry, Half-Blood Prince. Anyways, for me, Half-Blood Prince is pretty good for like the most part. There's just some like things that just kind of are iffy that just make me dread reading it, if that makes sense. One thing that does bother me for this is the flashbacks. Everyone loves the flashbacks, but me. Totally boring. Absolutely just cannot stand the flashbacks. They're so boring. I'm not a fan of flashbacks. Like, there's a few I don't mind. But like, I don't mind, like, which one is it? I don't mind the one with Hepzibah Smith. I love Hoki. I think Hoki is a great character. Hoki is absolutely amazing. Okay, totally like a forgotten character. Like, house elves are so amazing. Like, anyways, I just don't like reading like the first like 2 flashbacks. I'm pretty sure it is. It's like the one with the gaunts. It gets good, but it just bores me at that first part where we're like waiting for the like Merope. Like it just bothers me. I just want to get to the good stuff. Another flashback I think is just so boring is the one in the orphanage. I find that one just so boring. We're just having a conversation between Tom Riddle and Dumbledore. So I get kind of bored with that. And I know most people absolutely like love the flashbacks, but they're just not for me. I'm not a big fan of flashbacks. It's the same thing in Percy Jackson. Like I do not like the flashbacks at all. Bother me to a T. Like I cannot do flashbacks. Like just trust me, not my thing. All right, but all I have to say for Half-Blood Prince, although the reason it is a bit higher, is because of Harry and Ginny's like relationship. They are my like OTP in Harry Potter. I love the way that like Harry is nervous to tell Ron about how he feels about Ginny, but ends up doing it anyways. I just love it when he finally kisses Ginny. Ron approves, and it's just so amazing. And just like the way Ron's like, for my permission, and then Ginny's like, I don't need your permission. Like I just love it. It's such a great dynamic, so beautifully done. The only thing that makes me very mad with J.K. Rowling is she's like, Harry and Hermione should have ended up together. I'm like, no. They are siblings, okay? They may not be biological siblings, but they are siblings. Anyways, that's beside the point. Next on my list, I have Order of the Phoenix, this big book, which the first time took me 2 weeks to read, either because I was a slow reader or I put it down. I don't remember. Or I actually have a life. Actually, I didn't have the time, but like we ignore that. Anyways, so this is probably surprising to a lot of people because most people like think this book is so boring, and they're not wrong. The first like 200 pages I do not read. I actually skip them. I know that's horrible of me, but I skipped the first 2 pages of Order, the first 200 pages, because it's so boring. They're just doing the same thing. They're just in Grimmauld Place for like the first 200 pages. I don't like that. I want to get into the Hogwarts. I want to get into the classes and Harry's sass. So every single time I skip to page 200, where it's the Sorting Hats song, and I read from there because that is all that interests me. Other than that, I absolutely love the book. I love Harry's sass to Umbridge. I absolutely just like love when Harry and George beat the shit out of Malfoy. Oh, that shit. Like Malfoy angers me so much. He's so overrated. And the only reason girls even like Malfoy is because they think Tom Felton is hot. He's not my type of hot. I think it's just not it. But everyone else thinks too. And I just think that that is the only reason anybody loves Draco Malfoy the way that they do. There's no other reason to like Draco. He's so overrated. Although, I think a redemption arc would have been nice for him. Because I feel like if he would have had a good redemption arc, I would have actually ended up liking him or not hating him. Although, Snape did have a redemption arc, and I don't like him. But that's a story for another time. Anyways, so this is just, it's overall a really, really good book. But besides the fact that the first 200 pages are absolutely just repetitive and boring, and there's nothing going on, and the fact that my favorite character dies, Sirius Black, there was no actual reason to kill him. I just feel like Rowling was just bored and was like, alright, Sirius it goes. He's the best character. I'm sorry, but Sirius is the best character. Like, don't even, hello. No, seriously though, like, what was Rowling thinking? I literally think she was just bored and was like, huh, I'm getting kind of bored of Sirius. Let's just kill him off. I wasn't getting bored of him. Even though I wasn't quite alive yet. But I am not bored of that guy. He's so amazing. His bond with Harry is just top tier. Like, you cannot find a better bond than that. Anyways, just ignore my rambling. I go on about the most random things. Anyways, Goblet of Fire is my second favorite book in the entire series. And it was my favorite for a very, very long time, but the other book is my favorite. Goblet of Fire is so good because it's just the vibe that it has. Like, the vibe that Goblet of Fire has is just great. One thing I don't like about this book is actually the very first chapter. I do not like the first scene in Harry's dream where Voldemort and Wormtail are talking and they have like Nagini. That scene just bores me to death. I find it so boring. I just honestly think they should just have cut that out because it's just boring. I don't care about it. Get it out of here. I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I just truly feel like that was one of the things that also drives me to read the book. And for some reason, I can actually get through that chapter. Unlike Order of the Phoenix, where I skip the first 200 pages, I actually read the first chapter. And I get through it. And I read the rest of the book like that. Because it's so good. Another problem I do have with this book is I find the second task very boring. Like, I cannot get through the second task without just wanting to just put the book down. I find it so boring. I'm constantly seeing how many pages are left till the chapter's gone because I find the second task just so like, I don't want to read that. Like, it's so boring. The second task bores me to death. I just find it boring. Although my favorite villain is actually in this book, who is Barty Crouch Jr. He's my favorite villain in the Harry Potter series. He's very, 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 very underrated. He's very smart. He was a very good like, no one would have expected that. It was a very, very good plot twist. The way that we discovered Barty Crouch Jr. I absolutely loved it. I thought that it was just so well done. And just everything about this book is genuinely just so good. And, like, the scenes we have with the Dursleys in these books are so damn good. Like, the fact that Fred and George gave Dudley that Tung Tung Toffee literally makes me laugh so hard because Dudley deserved it so damn much. And Aunt Petunia and Vernon are just vile and cruel and horrible people. And just, like, watching them suffer makes me happy. So, yeah. Like, they totally deserved everything that they got. Just saying. It's, like, also the fact that they, like, totally, like, underfed Harry. Like, more than they already do. With his, like, half a quarter of a grapefruit. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what kind of meal is that? Like, it's a good thing Sirius, Hermione, and Ron, and, like, was it the Weasleys as well? Like, no, it was Hermione, Ron, Sirius, and, like, Hagrid. Which I guess with Ron, it was, like, actually, like, his mother, because his mother's, like, top-tier cook. But, yeah, so, the Vernons are cruel, and the Dursleys are very cruel and just not good people, so it's just fun watching them get what they deserve. I'm trying to think of, like, if there's anything else that bothers me with this book, but overall, like, it's a pretty good, solid book. Like, I also just don't like the fact that Victor and Hermione were, like, a thing, because Victor Krum is, like, 3 years older than Hermione, because Hermione's, like, actually, like, 15 in Goblet of Fire, because she has, like, one of the earlier birthdays in the school year, so she's actually 15 pretty much the entire book. But I don't like that, but pretty much that's, like, all I have to say. Like, it's a good book, but there's just moments when I get bored. I also really love the part, like, one of my favorite scenes in all of Harry Potter, and, like, all the Harry Potter books, because I do have a favorite moment in the movies as well, like, it's not in the books, but my favorite book moment is in Goblet of Fire, and that's when, like, Harry and Dumbledore go into his office, and Sirius like starts coming up and getting all worried about Harry, because Sirius is my favorite character because of the way that he cares for Harry. It makes me so damn happy. Like, I love it so damn much. Like, don't get me started. Like, hello. Anyways, like, literally, like, okay. Literally, like, of course. Sorry, of course. I want you to know I'm talking to you. Just the way Harry and Sirius talk is just, like, their dynamic is so underrated. Like, everyone's like, oh, Harry and Ron. Like, yes, they are, like, my second or third favorite, like, duo. But Harry and Sirius are ultimately my favorite because ultimately they need each other more than, like, anybody else. Sirius has nobody except for Harry and Remus, and Harry has nobody but Sirius and Remus. Which, like, Remus is great too, but he just doesn't have that same bond with Harry. He feels more of, like, a professional teacher just because he was their teacher in the 3rd year. So it just doesn't have that, like, same feel. If you get what I'm saying. But, yeah, I feel like overall Goblet of Fire is a pretty damn good book. Like, obviously there's things that I just get bored of, like the Bellatrix trial. Like, that's just not my thing. But like I've said, flashbacks just not my thing. Oh, thank you. Oh, I love my eyes actually, so respect. I actually love my eyes because they look like Harry and Percy Jackson, so anyways. No, but flashbacks are not my thing. I would say pretty much besides that, like, the book is very good. Like, I love it. Very good writing, very good scenes. I just love the vibe that the book has the entire time. I do not like Ron in this book, or at least for part of it. So, yeah. And dang, I'm so sorry. I cannot imagine having dyslexia because, like, literally, reading is my whole life. Like, when I'm older, I want to become an author, so I could never be dyslexic. Like, that'd be very hard for me. Also, my friend's dyslexic, and I can just tell it's hard for her, so I wish you luck. Although, the only reason I'd want it is because Percy Jackson has it, and I want to be like Percy. But that's the only reason. And the final book, the best book in the entire Harry Potter series, is Prisoner of Azkaban. And if you've heard me rant about Sirius, you'll probably assume why this is my favorite book. And it's simply because this book is surrounded about him. I also love the vibe that this book has. There's so many great things about this book. And I just feel like this book and movie is my favorite. Like, Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite book and movie. It's just so well done. I love it. The only thing I just despise with everything in me is the time turners. I don't like the time turners. They're very inconsistent. At least in the book, J.K. Rowling has written other things about them on the Wizarding World site, so we do know other information. But if you're just a book fan, like if you're only reading the books, very inconsistent. It's just so confusing to understand as time travel is. Personally, when I'm reading a book about time travel, I'm not going to like use it a whole lot. I'm probably actually I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not gonna say. But because I'm writing my book series, hopefully I can get it published. Fingers crossed. But that's the only like main issue I have with this book. Like, other than that, this book is very, 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 very good. Like, I can't think of anything else I despise about this book. Except for Peter Pettigrew getting away, but that's for obvious reasons. So I forgive Joe for that because it made a great Goblet of Fire book. So, although I wish Sirius would have got freed in Order of the Phoenix instead of dying. Like, what was Joe Mom thinking? Makes me so mad every single time I still hold very, very big grudge for her killing off Sirius, if you can't tell. And she didn't even make his death sad. Like, she's just like, oh, Sirius fell through the well. Have a nice day. No, but seriously, Prisoner of Azkaban, OTP, on the top. Very, 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 very good. Also, Trelawney is just so funny. Like, don't get me started. And then Hermione is a total badass in this book. Like, she has stats for days when it comes to Trelawney. She be mouthing her like it is her job. Like, you cannot get me started. And when she slaps Draco, he so deserved that. Just everything. Like, the Marauders backstory. One backstory I can actually stand because it's about Sirius. And that's all I care about. Honestly, J.K. Rowling and all them other people in Hollywood need to do a TV show on the Marauders, and I'm going to fight my case on that. I would rather them cancel the TV show, do a Marauder story, because I want time with Sirius, and we won't get that until like season 3, and he's gonna die. So there's no point of getting excited. And also, Gary Oldman was just so well as Sirius Black. I cannot get over Gary Oldman as Sirius Black. He is such a good actor. And I think the only reason I don't like his casting is because he didn't have enough screen time. Gary deserved so much more screen time than he actually had gotten. And like, not to mention, Gary is like one of the big actors in the British area. He's like a big British actor. And so to me it was like kind of crazy that like Gary Oldman didn't get more time. Maybe it was because they didn't want to pay him, which is my assumption. But also I loved one of my favorite things, since Harry and Sirius are like my favorite duo in all of Harry Potter, it made me so happy that Daniel's role model was literally Gary Oldman, and he literally was dying on set, getting to work with his literal idol. Like, that is so awesome to me. I love that. And Gary Oldman is just like such a sweet man. And he literally says he literally said jokingly that he should come back as Dumbledore, and I think he should, because I want more Sirius Black, even if he's not Sirius Black, because Gary was an absolute king. He literally killed it as Sirius. He literally showed the empathy towards Harry so well. But it's because he probably liked Daniel as a person, because Daniel Radcliffe is just a likable person. And so Gary Oldman and Daniel Radcliffe just really did that duo well together, and I absolutely cherish all those moments. And so, yeah, I'm kind of scared for this reboot, because there's no way they're gonna find a good Sirius Black the way that they found Gary. I'm just scared. And Alan Rickman, they can't replace Alan. No, Cleo. And like, Vernon and Dumbledore, both of the actors have died now, which breaks my heart. Michael Gambon died a year ago. And then Maggie Smith died exactly a year after him, and that literally breaks my heart. 1 year later, exact same day. Like, that just breaks my heart. I love Maggie Smith. Like, she is a literal queen. She knows what she's doing. She was a badass. But that's beside the point. Anyways, that's my ranking. We had in 7th we had Sorcerer's Stone. 6th we had Chamber of Secrets. In 5th place we had Deathly Hallows, which I really think a lot of people will hate me for that, because like Deathly Hallows is just overrated in my opinion. My opinion, not yours. Then we have Half-Blood Prince. Still love Half-Blood Prince. It was very hard for me to pick between Half-Blood Prince and Order of the Phoenix, which means that 3rd place we had Order of the Phoenix. This big chunky mess. Although Order of the Phoenix would probably be my 2nd favorite if those 200 pages weren't there. If you can't tell, I have mad beef with those 200 pages, especially because that stupid ministry trial. That thing is so stupid and long and boring. Like, they literally... Sorry. Sorry. Alright, in 2nd place, we have Goblet of Fire. The the goat, like one of the goats of the series. This is a lot of people's favorite as well, and it's very clear why. Like, it's a great book. It was my favorite, and then I started getting obsessed with Prisoner of Azkaban. Although, probably in a month, it'll probably be Goblet of Fire again, so don't be too surprised. So, there's that. I love Goblet of Fire. Literally, if someone saw my Goblet of Fire copy, I'd be very angry. And then, in first place, we have the one and only Prisoner of Azkaban. This book is, like, it's J.K. Rowling's favorite, which makes me so happy because J.K. Rowling is one of my idols, which a lot of people are going to hate me for, but I love J.K. Rowling. She inspired me to become a writer and author. She helped me when I was in the worst, like, one of the worst points in my life. She helped me want to stay here. She helped me get out, like, help me with my depression. Like, I love Rowling just for that. She's helped me through so much, and even though she doesn't know it, I am forever grateful for her for that. Also, before I go, I do want to show you guys something very cool that I made. Sort of made. I'll explain in a sec. So over here, I have this little sign. Now it has some serious artwork, and it says, if you want to know what a man's like, take a look at how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. And then I have some fan art I found of him and some paw prints. And it's actually interesting because the original fan art was actually a different color, but my printing it, my printer was very, very low quality. So I ended up doing colors that I thought would be very, very fun. So I ended up going with red because Sirius is a Gryffindor, and I kind of just like darkened his hair and did his eyebrows. So yeah, I absolutely loved making that. So yeah, so much fun. I cannot like wait to make some more Harry Potter videos. I do have some ideas coming up, but I don't want to spoil them because I can't make promises that it's going to be anytime soon because I've been slacky. I've just been so busy. I'm in my school theater, and I'm like in the leadership kind of thing, and so I just don't have a lot of time, and we do like the musical every single day, but I will find time for you guys. So that's that. Anyways, I should probably be getting to bed. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hoped I put some perspective on the Harry Potter books for you, and I hope if you're just having a bad day, I helped you feel better, or just get you to stop thinking about things that have been bothering you, and I hope I didn't just trigger things to come back to you. Anyways, I hope you had I hope that you have a good, or hope you had a good day, because it depends on what time it is in your country or in your area. So, anyways, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. Maybe. Bye!